why are we actually so focused on to getting the joint recall of Xayah and Rakan. So first, I am nervous. I've never done anything like this before, and I ask for everyone's understanding. I am ready to take on this challenge as a Xayah main and as a Rakan supporter, I guess, because I play him but I suck. But I'm ready to do this. I am gonna be completely honest with you. I have no idea what I'm doing. I am just going with a small plan I created, and I am just trying to prove our point. I will try to include as much of everyone's points as possible. I've read a lot of information throughout the past couple of hours, like past 2 days, and I tried summarizing this in this yes, a PowerPoint presentation. I am a PowerPoint person. But yeah, first and foremost, I would like to start with thanking everyone for everything. I am incredibly grateful with how strong our community is and how much we did to fight against Riot for Xayah and Rakan and the future that they deserve. I did not expect the community to take a stance and fight like this. And I can only be so proud and so happy about it, and how it is incredibly wholesome to see us standing together in a way like this. It is something rare to see online nowadays. Most people are just spreading hate and arguing all the time, and seeing a community actually hold hands and fight together, it is something beautiful in my opinion. Secondly, I would like to also thank everyone that was concerned about my well-being. I want to assure all of you that I indeed have a job and I'm financially stable. You can actually also hear my cat in the background that is also very healthy. Yes, Jet, we can hear you. However, I do appreciate everyone's concern. I also received flowers the other day, okay? Which should count as touching grass. But once again, thank you all for the concern and I appreciate your thoughts. Yes, because I got a lot of comments of saying touch grass and get a job. I have a job. I work as a game producer, actually. That's why I have such a strong stance on this topic. So don't worry about me, okay? Now, the reason why are we all here? It's very clear, but I would like to summarize exactly what happened for the past couple of days. Because we've heard a lot of information was thrown at us, and I would like to summarize everything I've read, because I lost a lot of sleep and energy over this, trying to understand exactly why is that happening, and searching as much information as possible about it. So, why are we unhappy? Obviously, it's not because we're getting a new skin. For everyone that is saying that Xayah and Rakan mains are ungrateful, this is not true. We are incredibly grateful to all the designers and artists that work extremely hard for the skin. Our hate is not towards the developers, the artists, or the designers. We are throwing our feathers at the numbers people and the people that make the poor choices that do not match Xayah and Rakan personality and character development. We are not, at least not me and the people I've spoke to, attacking in any way anyone that put tears and sweat in this concept, because it's gorgeous. Or I should say, I love this, and I think it's a way better approach to a skin line than Arcana was, in my opinion. And this is not why I'm upset. This, on the other hand, is why am I upset. As you already know, I will read it again, but most of us read it already. I want to address a piece of feedback that we also received during the Arcana skin line release regarding the duo recalls, which is starting to be brought up again now. The skins team product leadership has analyzed both the feedback and the data that we're getting from our live servers, and they have found that the pick rate for Xayah and Rakan to be in the same team is fairly low, as well as them both using the same skin line with the same game is almost accidental. Due to that, the skin team product leader Shib has agreed that the unique dual recalls without a specific skin line is a feature that will not be carrying over to future Xayah and Rakan skins. Okay, we're all familiar with this. We all know that it's wrong, right? This is a very popular website that I got the information from. You can fact check me, the link is right there. Xayah and Rakan pick rate currently is 12.1% together over all ranks. In certain ranks, it's higher. I kind of got it overall because it's a better judgment. Why Misfortune is there? Misfortune has almost the same pick rate as Xayah and Rakan, and she's getting a secondary prestige skin already. This is not flamed towards Misfortune. I will get that skin because I like the skin. I like Misfortune as well. However, the excuse that they're not picked together is extremely incorrect. Even when Xayah and Rakan were not meta, they were still picked together fairly often. They had about 8% pick rate together, which is not that different from what it was now. I don't have, you can fact check me on this because I didn't know I'll have to make that presentation to keep that. But this excuse or attempt of an excuse is not something I can take easily because it's not true. Another thing is something connected with resourcing. We're gonna get to it. But as a lot of people mentioned, Riot Games put a lot of resources on Diana and Pyke, right? They had a pentakill skin that triggers a feature once in 100,000 games, or somebody else did the math, that happens a little more often, but definitely not as often as Xayah and Rakan players play Xayah and Rakan together. They put an insane amount of resources into those, and that's fine, right? This is what skin lines are for. This is what skins are for, to have little cute details, to make things special, not just to produce something as fast as possible, but actually give it some meaning, right? I am perfectly fine with Diana and Pyke getting those things, but the excuses that they're throwing at us for why Xayah and Rakan are not getting a dual skin, dual recall, is not proven by any of their actions. So, the excuses that they're making are not appreciated because they're not true, in my opinion. The Xayah community is obviously not happy, right? People are scared that we're never gonna see beautiful recalls together. People are unhappy about the skin lines and trying to boycott it because it's only fair for us to be upset. There's multiple and even more and more comments about how ridiculous it is that they, in a way, unfinished the skins because this is always the final touch for them. Yes, everything else is amazing, but this is like leaving something behind. They were, in my opinion, so close to crossing the finish line, and they gave up at the end. And there are many comments and posts all over the social media right now about how unhappy Xayah and Rakan community is. And the most touching thing is that people are not surprised. People are disappointed, but they kind of expected it. Riot Games has been cutting corners for a while now, not just on Xayah and Rakan, but on a lot of champions. And it's very sad that people are now kind of expecting this from Riot Games to just cut corners, to try producing content so fast just for the numbers, right? And cutting something like this, something that we're emotionally connected to, hurts us, obviously. And I really want that to actually be shown to them and for them to understand why exactly are we so hurt about it. Right? We have so many amazing artists out there, so many amazing Xayah and Rakan mains that are just so unhappy with everything that is happening right now. There are articles, there are videos, there is just so much out there for Riot Games to see our feedback and do something about it. This is an insane boom that hasn't been happening in a very long time. Even though people were unhappy before, we're actually furious about it. And I feel like if Riot Games doesn't see this, if they don't see us being so emotionally attached to something, and being so upset about it and still not do anything, I would say that this is not a very good sign about what they're doing and how they say that they're listening to the community. If they don't listen to how much feedback we've given them right now about this, I am afraid that they're not gonna listen to anything, really. Obviously, we're afraid, me and a lot more people, the redeem Xayah and Rakan is not gonna be as perfect as it could have been because of the way that they approach Xayah and Rakan relationship now. They're slowly trying to separate them in a way, and obviously we're not happy about it. And them now sharing that they're gonna redeem Xayah and Rakan scares me, because I don't know how they're gonna approach that situation, since they're already approaching Xayah and Rakan as a couple and as a duo and as a champion development so poorly. So after all the feedback that we've given them, we received that. Jumping into help give some more context. Also jumping in because I got Megagnar when folks say skins. Wait, why is it cut off? Anyway, doesn't matter. Basically, they say that we're blaming artists for being lazy. No, we're not blaming the artists. All of us repeated it multiple times that we're not blaming artists. We are definitely not ungrateful. We're trying to give you feedback, and they're attacking us by telling us that we're being mean in a way and saying that you guys don't care. Yeah, because you guys don't care. Like, we gave you our feedback. We gave you the feedback with Arcana, and you guys told us that we didn't have enough time for the release. Fine, that's why we all shut up. Okay, fine. You guys didn't know, you didn't expect it. We're gonna let it pass. But this time, knowing how upset we'll be about this, knowing how strong we feel about the Xayah and Rakan duo recall, you still didn't do it. And the excuse that he gave us last time no longer applies. So you throw a different excuse at us that no longer applies. And then the other excuse is, we want to put our resources in something more important. They are trying to put out fire with oil. With this post, the only thing they told me is that my opinion and my main and my emotional connection to Xayah and Rakan doesn't matter to them, and they want to put the resources in something else that matters more. Which was incredibly hurtful and definitely did not fix anything. This is another very poor excuse after they saw that the previous excuse did not work. I want the truth. This is not a valid excuse. I don't know what this is, but this is offensive. This is what that is. The main thing I want to talk about is this video that maybe some of you have seen, maybe some of you haven't. It's called Creative Collaboration Making League of Legends Champions. This is a video where they introduce how they created Xayah and Rakan and how they take an approach to the champion development and creation. It is a beautiful video. I would say that everyone should watch it. We're not going to be watching it on stream because I want this VOD to actually stay on my account. And if I watch it, it will be a copyright strike. So I will just quote exactly what they said. Everything I quote is quoted word by word from the video. You can fact check me on this because I did this right before stream. So, 3 minutes and 9 seconds is the first quote I would like to share. What you don't want to end up with is generic characters that don't feel like they lived and breathed somewhere. We don't expect that every player will be in love with every champion. We really expect that players would gravitate towards a handful and sort of connect to it on some sort of an emotional level. Without fail, every time we release a champion, we know we will learn a million things that we could have never predicted. 344. We wanted to make the ultimate duo experience. We all settled very quickly on lovers. We don't have a true romance in League of Legends. They're two people that would never leave each other's side. I actually cried while writing this. Now I'm gonna cry again This is the Xayah and Rakan I know, right? This is how they introduced them. This is how they introduced them in this video. This is how they've created them, and that's how they developed them as characters, right? Two people that would never leave each other's side. It's a very strong saying, and it proves my point of them being the only unique champion couple in the game. Yes, the game has Tryndamere Ashe. They're technically married. The game has Senna and Lucian. But the only two characters that have been released together and been through so much together are Xayah and Rakan. And I understand that the management have changed for the past 5 years, and maybe they lost the way that they thought about Xayah and Rakan, but that's why I'm here. I would like to remind them about how the characters were developed and what was the core idea of the two characters, and the way that they presented it to us, and the characters that we fell in love with are these two characters that were released years ago. And if they're trying to change something, this is a quote that I would like to read again from them. We're not making a character for the immediate splash. We're making a character for forever. Our role is to bring the characters to life, but at the end of the day, it's our players who owns them. I wish that was true. I wish the way that they introduced this video and every champion that they create was like this. I wish Xayah and Rakan would keep this foreverness that Riot was talking about. Every character gets created and developed and released and has something unique to them, right? You have Kled Passive, to which he loses his pet. You have Lamb and Wolf as a kindred. You have so many more champions that have two things, right? And these two things are inseparable because they're in the same champion. Xayah and Rakan got released as a couple, right? They are two different champions, but they're together. They make one. They are supposed to be together all the time. And giving them little details and features that makes them more special when they're together is what made them so appealing to us, right? Because now it has a point. There is a meaning to us to play them together and to feel something. To have that emotional connection with the champions, with the player that we play with even sometimes. It's not just e-couples, it's not, I play it with my best friends, and I play it with friends. I have so much fun because of their kit matching together, because of so much. And there was so much point thrown out there of people being like, even if I find a random Xayah online in the lobby, I always ask what skin we're matching, because this is important for us, right? The chromas having the same colors is important to us. The skin lines having the same similar look is important to us. The back is so important for us because it gives something to the skin line. It gives something new for us. It's not just the look, but now there's an additional animation. It is something very closely connected to the champion and very easily explained here. This is the original thread for 6 years ago of the team that actually made Xayah and Rakan. Let's just go through them, right? Yeah, I remember the first day we started on the project, Riot August walked up to me and said, "Nice to meet you. We're going to make champions that are made for each other." Are they gonna have matching skins in the future? Do you think they're going to be played in competitive? Thank you for making them. They're so awesome. They said in another thread that their idea is to give them matching skins. And then a Rioter confirms it. A ton of cool ideas of matching skins. I can't wait to see what else the team comes up with. They did an awesome job on the launching skin, which is the cosmic one, right? There's just so much to it. I know one of the goals was to have colors that both complement each other, but also looked like they were one in the same. This was the initial idea of them being the same thing, right? Even though they're two characters, they are the same thing. Is Double Recall a new idea, or is it something that has been played around with for a while? I can't speak to possibly very old designs, but it was one of the first pitches that these champions had, and it felt awesome from day one. So everyone was excited about it, obviously, but that thing is starting to get a little bit forgotten. And there's another one of a question being like, are they gonna have unique Rico animations all the time? The Rioter that answered that question is a deleted user now. I don't know if that happened around the Arcana deal. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's just because the thread is so old. Maybe they don't work for Riot anymore. I'm not aware, but they do say that we have the technology to have a different duo dance if both champions are on a particular set of skins, so theoretically possible, which is the initial idea of the characters again. Now, I want to talk about what I did for the past couple of days, except for losing a bunch of sleep over this. I created petition for the dual recalls, and I did not expect it to explode as much as it did. We got almost 3,000, if not 3,000 already, because I took the screenshot a little bit earlier. But almost 3,000 signage of the petition in about 24 hours. So if Riot Games really want to see numbers, these are your numbers. People care. It matters to us. We want to have this. If you look at the petition, there are hundreds of comments on the bottom underneath it, talking in various languages. There's Russian, there's Spanish, there's English, there's Portuguese. I don't even know half the languages that are there. Xayah and Rakan mains from all over the world are trying to voice their opinion. And I need Riot for you to hear us. When you're not just taking away a feature or an animation, you're actually taking away an emotional effect these two champions have. We as a community are asking you to understand how we feel and not take away the uniqueness that these champions have. Because you're phrasing it like you're just taking away something small. Like a small VFX effect or something so unimportant to us. But that's not true. You're actually taking away something that we're emotionally connected to. Something that we can look over when we back together and be like, oh my god, this is so cute because, you know, like Elderwood, for example, you know how Rakan, when you press Control 2, he gives the flower and then it says not for you and takes it away, right? But when he backs with Xayah, he gives her the flower. Do you know how cool this detail is in general? Like, that little small interaction that they have with each other. The reason why Xayah and Rakan are Xayah and Rakan. These small little details and these small little things is what make the skin line and the characters a character. When you mentioned that you want to make a character for forever, I want to add something to this. A champion in League of Legends, the only way of it to keep living is to add more lore or to add the two skin lines. That's how you extend the life of a champion. And if you take away something so emotional to it, you're taking away the whole skin line. You're separating the two champions for the future, and it hurts. Because that's not what the initial idea is. That's not the Xayah and Rakan I fell in love with years back. So don't take it away from us, and please listen to us. I and a lot more people have a proposal for Riot Games that I hope you guys can take. It's not supposed to be 0 to 100. We can meet in the middle, so both parties are semi-happy. As I said, a lot of the community proposed for us to get VFX particles or assets added to the default recalls for epic skins. AK, like right now, you can, as an example, somebody already did something to which they have the Rakan building behind them and they still have the same animation, the same default animation as before. You can add broken glass. You can add something that makes it unique, the back, to this specific skin line without actually giving them a separate animation. Same goes as Arcana. You could have just put the Arcana card behind them and leave them with the same exact back as the one they have right now. However, for legendaries, Xayah and Rakan, just like any other champion, should get something in addition, since legendary skins usually are expected to have more. So I think it will only be fair for us to get the dual recalls for the ones that are legendary, with new animations and everything. I feel like this is a very fair proposition in which we can actually meet in the middle for it. And I am pretty sure that most of us will be happy with it. Now, at the end of the day, I am grateful for everything that Riot Games has done for Xayah and Rakan, obviously. You guys created an amazing skin lines with amazing ideas, incredible lore, and you really worked so hard for Xayah and Rakan. And I appreciate it more than anything that you can ever imagine. Because without her, I would not be here. I have way stronger emotional connection to the champion than you can imagine, that I'm not gonna go in depth here right now. But the way I see everything is that so far, you guys have done amazing with every single skin line I've seen Xayah and Rakan with. Cosmic, Sweetheart, Star Guardian, Elderwood. All of these are very, very, very well executed skin lines. But with the last two, Arcana and the new one, I am a little bit disappointed, and I hope that you guys can do better for next time. I can't speak for everyone, but I would greatly appreciate if you guys can hear us and at least try to give us what we're asking for, and understand that the emotional connection we have with these champions is way beyond just caring about a small detail in their backing animation. I hope this message finds you well, and I hope we can actually understand each other and you can actually take players' feedback to accommodation and understand that we care about these champions way more than you can imagine. And we voiced it in social media, we voiced it everywhere. So please listen to us and understand that this is way beyond money. And as you guys mentioned, you have a lot of that this year. It's your strongest year. So show that to us. I think we deserve it.